Hey everyone. I am in no way an expert at all at Photoshop. In fact, I would say it's one of my weakest programs that I'm usually on. However, I know a few people were super confused about the clipping masks, and I was too. So I thought I'd just make this quick video that if someone wanted to see what it looked like on my interface, I'm on a Mac, to see if it maybe was a little bit helpful for the thing we did in class right now. So here we go. So I've just got a blank document open to the size he wanted with the margins that he wanted, more so because they were a pain in the butt to put there and I didn't want to do it again on a video. So first things I'm going to do is I'm going to take this photo frame picture and I'm going to plop it into place. I'm going to make it just a touch bigger so it fits into the frame, and that's it. Then I'm going to make sure that I make a duplicate layer. So on my layers panel, down where my mouse is, I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to find duplicate layer. Again, I am no expert, so I'm sure there's faster ways to do this, but I'll just show you the way I did it just in case you guys were struggling like I was. So I've got two copies now. I like to hide whatever one I'm not working on at the moment, or in Illustrator I'll lock it just from experience of thinking I'm working on one layer and I'm not. It's a good habit that I found. I'm not going to name all the layers like he says you should, just for sake of time. So I've got the first photo frame selected. I'm going to zoom in, which is Command plus, so that I can see a little bit better. I used the same lasso tool up here that he did, the polygonal lasso tool, mostly because this is not actually a perfect rectangle. Normally I probably would have done the marquee tool, but that's all right. So I'm just clicking around to make my frame. If you notice this little circle pops up by my cursor, that means that it's going to close the shape. So I'm going to click to close the shape, and we get the marching ants to say that I have the selection. Again, not an expert, but I've learned that I tend to go back to have my mouse as the move tool in between things, just so I don't accidentally click on stuff and move it around. So I'm going to zoom out again. And then down at the bottom of your layers panel, so again, I'm down at the bottom right down there, and here the little flag that looks like Japan, it says add layer mask. So I make sure I'm again clicked on the one layer that I want, and I click on add layer mask. So if you noticed, it chose the little pineapple image because that's what I was holding with the mask, and I need it to flip. So there's two ways to do it. Making sure that I'm clicked on this layer, I could do Command or Control I as in iridescent, and it flips back and forth to be inverse. Or the way I actually did it before I realized that that worked, and I'm just going to go back before the clipping mask was made. When you have your selection here, you can go select, and then you can hit inverse here, and there are shortcuts there, but I sometimes find doing the files first, or doing the long way first, sets it in my brain better. So you can do select, inverse. Now you'll see I have marching ants all around my whole thing, which means I'm actually selecting the part that I want to keep, that I want to make into the mask. And then same deal, make sure I'm on the right thing, and then I hit the make clipping mask, and now it's the way I wanted it. And then I'm going to pull the first picture out of here, drop it into my file. It's not on the right spot, so I'll click and drag so that it's underneath where my clipping mask is, making sure I have the move tool. And then he free transformed it, which I totally forgot how to do, but Danielle and Taryn saved my butt. So Command or Control T opens up, T as in, well, Taryn, let's go with that. Opens the free transform tool there, and he scaled it to however you want it to look. So I'm just going to leave it like that because that looks good. And then we're done with those two. Oops. Done with those two for now. So I'm going to go back up to this one that I had hidden originally. I'm going to unhide it, and you'll see it looks like my thing disappears, but it doesn't. It's just I've got this layer on top now that's blocking it. So let's do the other frame part. Again, I'm going to do Control or Command with the plus to zoom in, space bar to turn into the grabby hand. And now this time I'm going to do the whole frame so that I can move it to make it look like this shelf has more than one frame. So again, you can see the little circle pops up on my cursor, makes it into the selection. And then I know there was a shortcut for this, but I don't remember it at all. Again, up on the menu here, you can see there's all these squares. So this is just the selection. This guy here, if you hover for a bit, it'll tell you what it is, but I believe it's add to selection. This is subtract from selection, and then this is intersect. Honestly, I don't even know how to use that right now. But I want subtract because right now I have this whole frame selected, but I don't want the whole frame. I just want this little outer bit, not the pineapple part. So I'm going to do the same thing, clicking just like I would in Illustrator. And again, see the little circle there, so I'm going to click. And then now I only have this frame selected. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the clipping mask down here, this little add layer mask. And then we've got a frame. So again, it looks like it disappeared, but that's just because we can see this background bit. So if I was to get rid of both my background bits here, you can see it's just a frame. But I'm going to put those guys back. And then making sure, again, that I'm selected on the right layer, because I constantly check that because I constantly accidentally click on the wrong layer, and then I'm super confused. I'm just clicking and dragging the frame over. Again, Command or Control T is for free transform, so if you wanted to make it just look different than your other frame, you could move the size or whatever your heart desires, but for this I'm just going to leave her like that. Kind of try and line up where it was sitting on the other one. And then I'm going to plop in my other picture of the person with the blanket. And again, I just have to make sure that it's underneath this clipping mask, the photo frame, but over top of my original one. So it's in the middle, it's squished in there. And I'm on my move tool. I'm going to put it wherever the heck I want it. I'm going to do Command or Control T, make it a little bit smaller so it fits in my little frame. And then I'm sure there's other ways to do this, but I do know Luke had said he prefers non-destructive editing because you can undo it. And undoing things is always great when you're working with this kind of stuff, because I don't know about you, but I mess up constantly. So the way I did it, at least, was I made another clipping mask to chop out the part of the picture I want. So I'm gonna just kind of roughly do it, because as long as it's underneath this frame, I should be fine. So I clipped it like that, made another clipping mask, and then it looks like it cropped it, but it's undoable. So that's that. So hopefully, I don't want to move that. Hopefully that's helpful for anyone who's a little lost with today's class. Yeah, let me know if that was helpful or not, but hopefully it was. Okay, have a wonderful long weekend, you guys. Hopefully you do something for yourself so that you can rest and recharge at least a little bit over the weekend and be brat-eyed and bushy-tailed for Monday. Okay, bye.